Hi, I'm Josh Elliott.
And I'm Molly Irwin.
And today we will be reviewing on Chesil Beach. Obviously, we are not in our usual location.
Nope.
We're actually at an arts camp right now.
Which
is why we have not been posting videos recently.
But we decided, since we saw on Chesil Beach literally the night
day before we came.
Yeah.
And also you're going to another arts camp soon.
For 5 weeks. I might be missing for a while. So on Chesil Beach, starring Billy Howle and Saoirse Ronan, there's this couple. We follow them on their wedding night. Through a series of flashbacks, it's explained how there's this growing sexual tension, but it's not a sexual tension because they want to have sex. It's more of a sexual tension because she doesn't want to have sex.
I like this movie a lot.
I did too. I loved it. Made me feel more than a movie has in a while. I cried like a lot. Like a lot. So Saoirse Ronan had an amazing performance as always, and her character flow is very complex. With that series of flashbacks, it kind of just launches right into it. I don't think it really sets it up that you're like, oh, this is a flashback now. It takes you a minute to kind of understand what it is. But through those series of flashbacks, you see that she is at Oxford studying with her ensemble, and she plays the violin. She has this dream of her ensemble performing at this one specific, really highly acclaimed place. Oh, the bugs.
There was a bug. Billy Howle. Other than Dunkirk, I don't think he's done like many things. He's relatively new.
Either, but he's really
He was great. I just loved his smile.
He was so honest.
He's so endearing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in a lesser movie, they would villainize him and say like, no, Saoirse Ronan, like she should be able to do whatever she wants, and he's forcing her to do it. But no, like he's been good to her in this relationship, and she's now like not giving him something that's expected, but like she has a right to be reserved about it.
Yeah, this entire movie evokes empathy for all characters.
You can't really pick a side. All you can do is really just stand there helpless and just watch their relationship crumble.
Let's go ahead and go into
We're going into spoilers. If you don't want On Chesil Beach to be spoiled for you, which
you don't,
skip to the time code that appears at the bottom of the screen.
The ending, whenever he's in the audience and seeing her and they're like old and everything like that, that's just a heartbreaking moment. The one where they're on the beach, like a long shot.
That is one of the best scenes.
So good. The cinematography of this movie, so stunning. It opens and there's this really good music playing. A long shot, they're walking along this beach after they've just been married, and the sun is setting. And, oh, it's so
it has
beautiful.
Such a good tone and period setting as well. That scene on the beach literally killed me.
I just tore an ant apart. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I feel like that scene is like a prime example of how to do arguments in not just film, but also theater. It has levels. It rises and lowers. They could give multiple monologues.
Right.
It gets intense and then gets quiet.
Quiet is such an important tool to this movie, I think. There's so many awkward silences and awkward pauses.
I want to talk about an issue I have with it. In this argument that they have at the very end, Saoirse Ronan's character, she says something along the lines of, oh, this has been like a problem waiting to happen. It's always been there. We've just never acknowledged it. But based on what they show in the flashbacks, I never really got the impression that this was something that always happened, because they used to be like very touchy with each other and kind of very lovey-dovey, and I was expecting something to happen along the way that would make her uncomfortable, and I never really got that. Like, I never got the impression that this was a continuing problem in their relationship.
Well, for some reason, that's not really a problem for me, because I think she was speaking more about herself and the internal conflict that she's always had. It's hinted that her father raped her. I think that that's an internal conflict that she's had this whole time, and when it gets to the part that she has not thought about, the part where she has to consummate the relationship, she hasn't thought about that before in the way that she knows sex, which is only by her father raping her when she was a young girl.
And it's also implied that like they never explained sex to her, like her family never did.
Yeah, exactly. She lives a very sheltered life, and obviously she kind of has a very strict home situation. Her parents are not very supportive of her relationship with Billy, and I liked that because it kind of goes to say that even if things look perfect on the outside, one person could be feeling something completely different than the other person. Okay, so final verdict. I thought this movie was going to be extremely different than how it was portrayed in the trailer, because I thought, oh, this is a bad guy. He's like forcing his wife to have sex with him even though she doesn't want to. And I know like they're married, but like, so I was obviously taking kind of the simple way to think about it, which I think most people would do. But then when you go into the movie, you're overcome with this like empathy for both characters and you're torn. And it evoked a lot of emotion and it was very thought-provoking. So I would give this a 9 out of 10.
I really liked this movie. I thought it tackled such a taboo subject in such a classy way.
True.
Like you said, it just shows empathy for both sides of the characters, and it doesn't really tell you how you're supposed to feel. It's such a conflicting story to watch. Almost anti-love story.
Yeah.
I did have some issues with how things were set up and how they ended
that.
up paying off, but ultimately I think this is a really fascinating movie. I'll give it an 8. So the final verdict is an 8.5 because I can do math.
Yes, so you should definitely see on Chesil Beach.
If it's still even out.
That's the unfortunate
We
thing.
saw it the day it came out in our theater. There were 4 people in the theater, including us, and 2 of them left in the
so
first
it was
10
just
minutes.
us. You won't see me for a while, but I trust Josh and Brett and all the other high school film nerds to do a good job. Have a good summer.
Click here to subscribe and click here to watch our last video. Peace out.